Welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. We are here for Saturday Night is All Right for our AEW Collision watch along. It is me, AEW, here with CM. I'll get it eventually. CM. And we're going to watch some Collision. For some reason, I still have a movie on my TV, even though it's TNT. Okay, it just ended. I was like, why is there still a movie on my TV, even though it's 501? Let's see. Hassan is here already. What's up, Hassan? Thanks for joining us as always. We appreciate it. Dolores is here. What's up? What's up? Uh, That's supposed to be it. Okay, I can
I'm
type
having
it.
a bit of chaos right now, therefore I'm on mute and I'll be popping in and off of camera for a few minutes.
Hassan said tomorrow afternoon it's Sonic the Hedgehog's birthday. That was news to me. I did not know tomorrow was Sonic's birthday. But enjoy celebrating, Hassan. If you're with us, we appreciate you being here. We know you got a lot of options for your watch alongs and for your wrestling podcast and content. So we appreciate you choosing Workhorse Wrestling Network. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video. It helps a lot. Hit the bell to be notified. If you're here with us, let us know in the chat who you think is going to win, what you think of the show, anything you want to talk about, all that kind of stuff. We're starting off with Hook, Shibata, and Joe versus the Premier Athletes, as you can see on the screen. Arya Davari, Josh Woods, and Tony Nese. These 6 men, well, more Joe and Hook, well, quite a little bit, have been battling back and forth for a little while now, leading up to this match. I like Shibata and Hook with Joe. I like this trio. I'm hoping that Joe can really help develop Hook, because I feel like Hook's been kind of slow. Or says, damn the one time I'm not on camera. Hassan's voting for Hook. Yeah, I think Hook and Joe and Shibata should win this match. I'm not totally sure why the Premier Athletes aren't booked better than they are. I guess it's because they're not. They don't. I guess they're not really over with the crowd too much. I feel like they're really good wrestlers. Maybe they all lack a little bit of personality. Um, and they're not terrible though. Tony Nese, I think, has good personality. Plays a good heel. Josh Woods, when he talks, I think is fine. He's a little bland when he's not talking. And I like Arya Davari. I've always liked Davari. So um, I don't know. It's one of those ones where I'm not totally sure why they don't get a little more traction. But hey, they're getting a big match tonight here against, three, Joe, a main event superstar, and Hook and Shibata definitely, you know, top of the main event stack, if not, bottom of the main event tier. So um, at least they're getting booked in a good match here. So all right. It looks like we're starting off with Tony Nese and Hook. Oh no, Samoa Joe. I'm sorry. It is Samoa Joe and Tony Nese to start us off. Tony Nese has a waist lock. Samoa Joe does not look impressed at all. Pushing it around an armbar. Joe's got his arm and control his arm. Nese fighting out. Nese has the arm into a headlock. Joe sends Nese into the ropes and a huge shoulder block from Joe. Nese It's on his back for a second and then quickly scrambled back to his knees and his feet. Joe over some big knee now. Went for a slam. Nice countered, kick, Nice off the ropes, and Joe serves him with a big elbow. Nice is down again. And Joe makes the hook, or makes the tag to Hook. Hook in the ring with Tony Nese. Hook picks him up, backs him into the corner, and starts serving big rights and lefts. Those punches from Hook for someone that has formal fight training, those punches from Hook don't look very foundationally sound. Let's put them like that. They look like big haymakers all the time. They're always coming from the side. And I don't know. They don't look very, but it looks like he's throwing him from his feet, even though we all know that he's not. Oh, premier athletes have Hook in the corner. Bad spot for Hook. There was 2-on-1 Davari and Nice beating up on Hook in the corner. And the ref watches on with the 5 count. Now it's Davari and Hook in the ring. Davari's in control. Cole Nelson, Hook trying to get his way out. Hook trying to use his strength. Davari switches to a waist lock. Hook breaks and slides underneath, goes behind Davari and tags in Shibata. It's now Shibata and Davari. Davari is back in his corner. It looks like Davari might make the tag to Josh Woods. So you get Josh Woods and Shibata, 2 former Ring of Honor Pure champions, 2 extremely good wrestlers, 2 technical wrestlers, 2 very proficient mat wrestlers. It should be fun. Good strikers. Oh, Shibata or Woods with the single leg takedown. Tried to go into the armbar. Shibata counters in the armbar. Woods counters in the armbar. Now they're countering, exchanging counters, both going for the armbar. Shibata has it. Woods' arm is tweaked out. Woods has his foot on the ropes, and the ref is calling for a rope break. Very good back and forth between Shibata and Woods, as you would expect it to be. Shibata with a diving leg takedown. That was interesting. And then Tony Nese came in to kick Shibata and break it up, essentially. Tag from Woods to Tony Nese. It's now Nese and Shibata in the ring. Big chop, Shibata no sells. Showing us that Japanese strong style that he's extremely proficient in. Oh, Tony Nese pokes him in the throat. Shibata counter, throws him into the corner, follows him in. Nese hits him with an elbow. Tony Nese went for the second rope moonsault, and Shibata just walked out of the way. He gave him the Samoa Joe and walked out of the way. So you can already see the training of Samoa Joe paying off. Is Shibata using his Samoa Joe move? Samoa Joe learning tree is in full effect. See, now you can see the difference. When Samoa Joe starts serving his combination rights and lefts and does his, his little boxing, routine combo, he looks good doing it. His punches are fundamentally sound. They look right, whereas hooks just don't. So hopefully Hook can watch Joe do that and Joe can show him how he does it and Hook can get that looking a little bit tighter. Oh, Joe's in the ring with Davari and Nese. 2-on-1. Took him down 1. Joe kicks out at 1. Samoa Joe completely bald. He has shaved his head completely. Josh Woods and Samoa Joe. Josh Woods put it on him. Woods with a quick tag to Davari. Come in. Take advantage of the 5 count. A little 2-on-1 move, and then Josh Woods gets out. Joe back up, fighting his way back. Joe and Davari. Joe's serving right elbows to the face of Davari. And Daivari goes to the eyes. In true heel fashion. Oh, Joe taking out Daivari. Joe with a senton. Daivari's in trouble. Joe to the corner. Makes a tag to Hook. Hook in the ring with Tony Nese. Daivari made the tag to Tony Nese. Hook with a big suplex. Josh Woods tried to come in before he could get in. Hook ran over and took him out. Hook in with the half and half suplex. Hook walking around the ring, flexing, stalking. Now he's coming in with the cross faces, those big right hand cross faces. Daivari came in to try to break it up, and he caught one from Hook. And then Josh Woods came in and picked him up and threw him for a big German suplex. But it was into the corner, and Hook was able to tag Shibata. Shibata's in now and cleaning house. Taking out all three members of the Premier Athletes. Shibata with the pump kick in the corner on Tony Nese. Now he's serving nasty right elbows. Nese is not looking good in the corner. Shibata to the other corner, all the way across. Basement drop kick. Tony Nese is in a bad way. Suplex. Shibata floats over. 1, 2. Oh, Tony Nese barely kicks out at 2.99. And Shibata just counters right over, floats over into the armbar, and Tony Nese has to tap. And your winners, Hook, Katsuyori Shibata, and Samoa Joe, with Shibata getting the submission on Tony Nese for the victory. The armbar submission. Joe, Hook, and Shibata in the ring, raising their hands in victory. The Premier Athletes are taking off to nurse their wounds. I didn't get a chance to put it up before, but this is roughly our match card for tonight. So should be a good show. We got a House of Black in action. We're going to see the Learning Tree versus Private Party, and Brian Cage versus Will Ospreay, which I assume should be the main event, which should be fun.
We have Juice Robinson being very upset that he's not acknowledged as a trios champion. I don't quite know how they would do that,
but yep, Guns, Bang Bang Gang, Juice and the Guns. No Jay White, giving us a little backstage promo segment.
But Jay White will be in the Owen Hart, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. The Owen Hart, the men's Owen Hart tournament is great, except for Jeff Jarrett. I'm like, this is an awesome wait, why is Jeff Jarrett there?
You do know they were best friends, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So why wouldn't he be in there?
Just because he's old and he sucks, and he wasn't in the first one.
But now he's like actually featured more.
Yeah. No, I guess I can understand it. I just don't like him. So.
Well, you cannot like him, but for this instance, I don't like him because he gave us Taylor Swift. But in this particular instance, I'm gonna go up for him because that night, and he had to go on after that incident happened, and then he did his tribute, and made me cry. So because it was like, why Owen? I'm not Hulk Hogan. Even then.
Well, he's wrestling a wild card, and I don't think they've named the wild card yet. So I'm assuming whoever that is will probably get the win, but I don't imagine Jeff Jarrett can.
Yeah, he's probably there just for that one match.
Right.
I would love it to be Hangman, and then Hangman wins it all.
Oh,
okay. I don't know.
Interesting. I was talking with my other friend. We were just kind of throwing out some names, just He was thinking maybe it might be Kenny Omega, a decent spot for Omega to come back if he's healthy. I don't know if he's ready to come back.
He just had
I don't know what's going on
surgery.
with Kota Ibushi. I don't know. I know he was injured, but is he ready or not, or where's he at? What's going on?
I don't
There's
think
several people
he's
that
ready.
I would love to see in that wild card spot. I hadn't even thought of whatchamacallit. The
I don't
person you
think
named, and
Soda
now
is
I'm
ready.
blank.
I know Kenny just had surgery. Like y'all are trying
Okay.
to see these men. Like I did not know Sonic the Hedgehog had a birthday. So it's good to know.
We got a private party coming down to the ring for their match against the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho and Big Bill.
Holy shit, me and Sonic are the same age.
Uh, I did not know Sonic actually had a birthday either. I mean, obviously, anything that's been created has a day that it was created, and you could call it a birthday if you want. But
No, that is a weird way to phrase that. Shout out to the internet who bullied them so badly that they changed the film version of Sonic, the newer film version of
right?
Sonic.
Uh,
Wait,
I half expected this would be Brian Keith and Big Bill as opposed to Jericho and Big Bill, but you're getting Jericho with Bill.
Oh wow, it really is June 23rd. Wow, okay. Things I did. I wanted to see the year, but can't have everything. I mean,
So wait a second. Wait a second. You just said you're the same age and share a birth. Your birthday's tomorrow.
no, my birthday was
Oh,
in January.
okay. You're just the same age.
Yeah,
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying you were planning your birthday was tomorrow, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. I know Dolores' birthday was last week.
I'm trying to see what year he was born in to see if I'm older or younger than Sonic. I found out that I am younger than the majority of the Rugrats, and my brain has been like since then.
That's funny.
Okay,
Big Bill
so
throwing around Mark Quinn
oh,
in
I'm
the ring
older.
at the moment.
I'm older by a few months. Okay, okay, it's 91.
Big Bill all smiley and happy. He has a huge flash in the car and then stops and smiles and waves.
This gimmick works, and I wish it didn't, so I wouldn't have to see Chris Jericho.
No, he's one of the few guys that seems to have enough personality to be able to be a big giant and still be a face and funny at the same time. Like usually it doesn't work for me. Usually I don't like the way that they do that, but he's really good and he's pulling it off right now. So yeah, I don't like Chris Jericho per se,
Oh shit!
but I do like this Big Bill gimmick.
Like Chris Jericho is what Bo Dallas was, like psycho cult person. But at the same time, I feel like Bo Dallas. Everybody's like, why is Bo in the YX6 and all this? And it's like, bro, Bo Dallas was more of a cult leader than Bray was. He was
Yeah.
if you have watched Heavyweight, he was Tony Perkins. If you watched Dodgeball, he was White Goodman.
Yeah.
And y'all will have this weird glow effect for me until the sun sets here because it's still 90 freaking degrees and I refuse. I'm not gonna be sweating for y'all. Love y'all. Y'all are amazing. It's too damn hot.
It's not quite that on here, but I think I got to about 75 or 80 today.
Mm-mm.
Do, do,
That's why, like,
do.
I just finished dinner, but I haven't eaten, so y'all are I will be on mute eating my food. Um, if you don't like it, at least I'm on mute. It's whatever.
Dolores says Jericho is a vampire with multiple personalities. Yeah, I can agree with that. Sucking the youth of the younger talent.
Here's something. Sucking is a very interesting phrase to use.
Mark Quinn in the ring takes down Jericho. Starts serving right hands. It's good to see Mark Quinn back. He was gone for a long time.
Well, that injury.
Yeah.
And then he came back, got re-injured.
Yeah.
And now we're
so
at 100%. So
it's good to see him back at 100% and healthy. And I always liked Private Party. I hope that they, now that he's back, they actually get an opportunity to show how good they can be.
yeah. I mean, I liked having Isaiah Cassidy by himself. That moment was a little weird for a minute, but
Move on to picture in picture. It looks like Big Bill's choking somebody in the corner. He's got his foot in his neck in the corner. Okay.
I think it's Mark.
Quinn, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of the issue with Private Party is that they don't. I like them, but I don't know that they're unique enough. I don't know that they stand out enough.
What do you mean?
Like when if you put them like if you list all the AEW tag teams and put them in that, obviously they're a tag team, so they belong in that mix. I feel like you have some that stand out more than others, and that's why they're the ones that are over. The Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, even the Acclaim to a certain extent. And I feel like Private Party they don't have something about them that's unique enough or stands out enough to really separate them from the crowd, which I think is a little bit of the problem. It's kind of like Top Flight. Top Flight is very similar to me. Like their wrestling acumen, I think, kind of makes them stand out a little bit. But other than that, they're not. I don't know. They're not. They don't feel special. They don't feel like they stand out. They feel kind of just. They're a little bland.
Feel like you may not be their target demo.
That might be true.
Because Private Party is like they're super cool. They're the guys that you want to party with, but they can also like fight and all that good stuff. With Top Flight, they're high flyers, like, but they can also actually wrestle. The storyline that's going on with Leo Rush is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
I agree. Dolores made a comment here. On BMXXX, you ride a lady of the. I'm sorry, I can't even read it. You ride a lady of the night on your bike, and when she falls off, she says, "You suck harder than I do." That's Jericho. Hassan's voting for Private Party. Oh, Isaiah Cassidy off the top rope with the crossbody onto Jericho. Big missile drop kick from Isaiah Cassidy to Jericho. Big Bill in. Chasing Isaiah. Isaiah pulls the rope down. Big Bill over the top rope. Isaiah Cassidy off the second rope with a big kick to Bill. Stunner to Jericho. Stunner to Big Bill.
This one's
Cassidy's
not
on
tonight, is it?
2. Oh, sunset flip for a 2 count on Jericho. Isaiah Cassidy looking good at the moment. Private Party in charge. Like for me, like good or bad, like it or dislike it. And I'm not saying that you have to do it, but Max Caster rapping makes the Acclaim stand out from the crowd. Whether it's good or bad, you don't like it, whatever you think about it, you have an opinion one way or the other, and I think it makes them stand out from the crowd. Jericho just moves up, but he got his knees up. Isaiah Cassidy, off the back of Jericho over the top
The
rope onto
second
Big
best
Bill outside
part,
the ring.
the second best part of Juneteenth was not having to hear Max Caster rap once. The first best part was not like us 5 times. Second best, not having to hear Max Caster.
But like I said, I mean, you love him or hate him. If you have an opinion, he's doing his job, right? That's the goal. Is either you like him or you don't like him, but at least you're talking about him. So, Big Bill with a huge, huge kick to Isaiah Cassidy, who was in midair off the top rope. After the ref was distracted by Brian Keith, Jericho looks like he's going to crawl over and steal a victory here. 1, 2. Oh. Isaiah Cassidy kicks out.
No.
Talk about Forbidden Door next week. Make sure and join us for our watch along for that. We will be live watching it, providing real time reactions and opinions.
They will be live.
Oh,
Don't
Jericho.
tell. Don't tap. Don't tap. Reverse it. Reverse it.
Isaiah Cassidy in the
Come on.
walls of Jericho. In the middle of the ring.
Thank you.
You must be a little ahead of me because I got Cassidy still trying to get to the rope. Excuse me. I'll be right back 1 second.
What? Oh, that's a splat.
Ooh.
So Big Bill basically does like a tilt-a-whirl and slams down Cassidy on the mat. Mark Quinn is still down and out.
Yeah, I see the tilt-a-whirl on that. Yeah, it's almost like Baron Corbin's Deep Six. 2. Kind of look like for a 2 count. Yeah, I'm surprised Isaiah Cassidy kicked out of that. Isaiah Cassidy's taking a beating here. I thought he was out last time. They got almost a 3 count on him.
I am enjoying the fact. Ooh, that is horrible. I am enjoying the fact that Big Bill is getting so much like offense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
That's gonna have to stay up still. It gets a little bit darker, and then I turn on the big light. Okay, we'll be good.
Choke slam. Holy shit. Big Bill just choke slam Mark Quinn onto the back of Isaiah Cassidy. 1, 2. Cassidy kicks out again. Isaiah Cassidy showing some resilience.
Come on, Isaiah. Come on. All right. Come on. Bruh.
Big Bill has Cassidy up. Jericho's on the top rope. What are they going to do
you
here?
busting in doors like you pay a bill.
Cassidy counters, pushes Bill into Jericho in the corner. Jericho's down. Bill down. Oh, Mark Quinn off the back of Jesus Christ. Isaiah Cassidy.
Come
A
on.
la Hardy Boys. Gin and juice on Jericho. 1, 2, 3. Nope, 2. Jericho kicked out. Holy shit, Jericho kicked out. All right. For sure it was over there.
Come on.
Not that this has been a bad match in any way, shape, or form, but they're giving it a little more time than I expected they would.
Well, it makes sense that they have it on Collision because Collision is a little bit more fight based. And we often forget that Private Party really can't wrestle.
Yep. Cassidy serving elbows to Jericho in the middle of the ring. Right and left in the midsection, off the rope, clothesline. Jericho's down. Isaiah Cassidy's fired up. Big Bill. Oh, Brian Keith. Hit him with something. Oh, wow. Isaiah Cassidy went for something off the second rope, some sort of springboard, something off the second rope, and Brian Keith was there and caught him, punched him. Now he's out 1, 2. Jericho floats over 1, 2, 3. Jericho gets the win. Brian Keith had something in his back pocket. I don't know what it was, but that he used to knock Isaiah Cassidy out.
Sucks balls, man. Yes. We didn't forget. We ain't forgot.
Now they're getting beat down. Private Party getting beat down. Up here comes Joe.
Yes.
Joe and Shibata and Hook out to save, to run off Jericho. And Brian Keith and Big Bill.
Is it gonna give me?
Oh, Brian Keith got stuck in the ring alone with Shibata. Oh no, Brian Keith all alone in the ring with Hook and Joe and Shibata.
Oh,
no good for Brian Keith. Oh, they stomped his elbow. Shibata stomped his elbow. Keith was able to roll out of the ring, so he's not taking any more damage, but the damage is done. Brian Keith is holding his arm and looks to be in a tremendous amount of pain. Oh, Samoa Joe talking to Chris Jericho.
All right. He said, it seems like we come from very different schools of thought. I've always been a man that says the best ideas survive in the crucible of combat. What I suggest, combat. Why is this in Spanish? He wants Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho. And the rest of it's gonna be Team Jericho versus Hook and them. Yeah.
So it's gonna be both teams. It's gonna be the 2 teams versus each other from North. Joe versus Jericho from North.
It looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be Team Samoa Joe versus the Learning Tree. But we might also end up getting Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho because he's just like, who's the better teacher? Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I like this little who's the better teacher storyline. I mean, we all know it's Samoa Joe, but I like the storyline.
I mean, Samoa Joe teaches you to appreciate architecture. Oh, that's why he said he does the note, so he can take a moment to look at the architecture. He sent Sean Moxley weapons. Like literal weapons, like a literal battle axe.
That's insane.
You gotta love Joe.
We are at commercial. For a full commercial, not picture in picture. So take a quick second to say thank you for joining us here at Workhorse Wrestling Network. We know you got a lot of options for your watch along, so thanks for being here with us. We appreciate it. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, hit the bell to be notified so that every time we put something out, you'll get the notification so you can tune in and check it out.
Oh.
Hmm.
All right.
Doo, doo, doo.
I'll wait now. Hi, guys.
Doo, doo, doo. Blue Chew commercial. I know it's not Blue Chew. It's Blue Pills, but it's not Blue Chew.
I don't understand why they have so many erectile dysfunction commercials.
Because I think they assume that men is the bulk of the audience that watches wrestling. So,
But I mean, wouldn't that be awkward? Like you're watching men fight, and then they put on a commercial about not having an erection.
right? It's a little awkward. If you're not getting a proper erection watching your wrestling, it's that little blue pill. Oh. Excuse me. Mm. Make sure and join us tomorrow for Enter the Square Circle. It is more qualifying matches for men's Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber. And then join us Monday for Seeing Stars with Jade News. I don't know if Dolores will be on or not. I'm not sure if she's back on the camera or not, but Jade News will be on. I think it'll be pre-recorded again. And then make sure and tune in Tuesday live for the cookout, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Okada's coming to the ring right now for his AEW Continental Title Eliminator match against Ultimo Guerrero of CMLL.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's gonna be amazing! Oh my god! Thank you.
If Ultimo can get a win here, he will get a shot against Okada for the Continental title. Are you an Okada fan?
I go back to the TNA days. Even when they tried to downplay him, try to make it seem like he sucked, like he was never gonna be anything, I loved Okada. When I was able to somehow bootleg New Japan and I could see an Okada match, I was watching it. Like
I never actually saw him in TNA. I missed that time, so I didn't see him until I started watching New Japan, right 4 years ago or so, 4 or 5 years ago, when
him
I
and
really started to pay attention.
how they played Okada in the Young Bucks, but they still made it. I will never know, but I loved it. I loved it all. I love. I literally. So this is how big of a wrestling fan I am, guys. I literally would take computer classes so that I could get on the message boards and get on WWE.com, and I made my schedule work so I could watch. NXT was a game show. I could put on my headphones and watch NXT while I was like working on like keyboarding and stuff. So to let y'all know how big of a wrestling fan I am, I planned my high school like stuff around wrestling. It also doesn't help that I went to a super small high school and I didn't like most people. Most of them didn't like me.
Right.
But this, like, if I could find it, I was watching it. So
I mean, obviously, I was never like. Obviously, I know there's other parts of the world that there's wrestling everywhere. I just wasn't I just wasn't watching anything outside of the United States for a really long time. It wasn't intentional. It just is the way that it was. I mean, until they really, until AEW came around and I started really even pay attention to New Japan and then New Japan World, I discovered, and then, it became easy to actually access it. So, and it's funny because now it's one of my favorite promotions. So,
I will be very honest. The way that I've always been a TNA fan from the first time I was ever able to watch it. When I was able to watch New Japan and like catch like old reruns, like it'd be late at night and I wasn't supposed to be awake, but I would be up and I couldn't go to sleep. So I'd sneak out and watch it. Same with Ring of Honor. And then as I got older, like when I went to college and I came back from the club, Ring of Honor would be on. So I'd watch Ring of Honor, get like as I'm getting ready, the only person like still up, still sober, because unfortunately alcohol doesn't have an impact on me like that. Chilling out. My roommate got to know a lot about wrestling when they would come in. Hassan, I saw the clips of it. I don't watch WWE. I personally have found it very funny and very interesting how people are now fans of Joe Henry, and I love that for him, and I love that for TNA. But they are not admitting why Joe Henry started getting like the pop that he did and when he did, because they don't want to give any love to Top Dollar, and that's kind of sad to me. But yeah, because a lot of people, like even at the beginning of this year, up until a few months ago, they didn't know who Joe Henry was, and the feud with Top Dollar really like let him showcase who he was and let him shine. And people just don't want to like appreciate that because they hate Top Dollar, which you're prerogative, you're right, but the man has been giving you some great things in TNA and in the Indies.
Multiple Guerrero, ripping Okada into the rope, big clothesline. Isn't Ultimo Guerrero like 100 years old? I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying. Feels like he's been around forever.
Are you? Keep in mind that they start earlier than us.
Yeah.
Like Rey Mysterio was like 14, 15. Let me pick someone else because I forgot you're a Rey Mysterio hater.
Doesn't mean you can't use him as an example. I mean, I know, I get it.
Let me see. Jungle Boy started when he was like 12. Kota Ibushi started really young. Riho started really young. There's other people, but I can't think of them. But I know Ray started very early on. But since you're a Ray hater, I just so hard.
Oh, Okada has Guerrero up.
Come on, Ultimo. Come
Guerrero
on.
trying to counter
I need
out.
to see another match. Come on, man.
So Okada made his way to the ropes. Broke it up. Guerrero whipping Okada into the corner. Guerrero follows. Okada grabs him. And no neck breaker from Okada. Shoulder breaker. The announcer called it. My bad. It looked like it was the neck to me, but okay. I thought it was interesting. It feels weird to me. It feels a little disingenuous when you do something like have a Joe Hendry, who's pretty over in TNA, come on, give a really solid promo before the match. The crowd is into him, and then he's the first person eliminated It's like, okay.
How many people
I
did
mean,
it take to eliminate him?
I get it. I mean, like I was just gonna say, it was a whole crowd of people and everyone did it. I get it, but it's still, I just don't like that booking. I just don't. I mean, I guess to a certain extent it makes a little sense, and I understand it took 9 guys or however many it did, so it's whatever. But I don't know. I thought, and then you have Kaz, who you don't make a big deal about even being there in the final 4 of the match. So it was kind of weird. I don't know. It felt like the spots should have been reversed almost, but we'll ultimately, I guess, see what we end up doing with Joe Hendry in WWE, if anything, at this point. So maybe there's a method to the madness.
I mean, it furthers the feud in TNA, which y'all TNA is still born. Joe Henry really is like him and Top Dollar and Josh Alexander are really like the best parts. They've even kind of doled down the women, which sucks. I blame Matt Hardy. Yeah, that's where all my blame is going to go now for TNA, Matt Hardy. It furthers the feud. Joe Henry will beat Kaz and then whatever. But also, people were clamoring for Joe Henry to come over and wrestle. If you let Joe Henry get too far, you run the risk of your WWE guys not getting over.
Yeah.
And
I can see that. I can definitely see that. No, and we know WWE's not going to do that. So, and they still, they can, I'm sure in the room when TNA and WWE are sitting down talking about what's going to happen, who's coming over, how they're going to book it, I'm sure WWE still throws their weight around. I mean, they still probably ultimately get what they want. Commercial again. We are back. Okada versus Guerrero in the Continental title eliminator match continues. Very good match so far. I'm not the biggest Okada fan, but I can appreciate that he's a solid wrestler. Nice clothesline. I'm very interested in Forbidden Door has a couple matches that I think are that are interesting. I'm very interested in MJF versus Hector Chero, who I've only seen a couple times, but he looks very impressive. He's a CMLL star that I guess is huge in Mexico. So, and a couple times I've seen him, he looks really good. So, and MJF has good matches, so that should be good. I'm interested to see how that goes. I like what feels like a real insurgence of luchadors recently. I like it. I mean, it feels like we're getting a lot more CMLL, and or AAA talent just in general in the States wrestling with these mainstream promotions, and I like that.
I am loving the fact that you're getting to see people that you probably would never see on TV otherwise.
Right.
Like, you're going to see some folks, but you wouldn't see other folks. Like, you probably would not see a Naito in WWE, to be quite honest.
Right. Yeah.
TNA, maybe, but how would be presented there?
Sure.
Come on. Oh, that was stiff.
Guerrero's got Okada up on top, from the shoulders. Okada counters. Big drop kick from Okada, which was one of his signature moves. The announcer just said, "Picture perfect drop kick." Rainmaker. Oh, Guerrero ducks under, kick to the midsection.
Oh, that's just nasty.
Oh, Okada moves. Okada serving right hands to Guerrero or elbows. Okada up. Is he trying to take his mask off? Looks like he was
That's
trying to
what
take
it.
his mask off in the corner
I
and then
know.
big power bomb.
The angle was not shot at the ankle because it looked like he was trying to,
Eh, very solid match here. Very good outing for Ultimo Guerrero.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to take that mask off. See, Ultimo Guerrero
No,
is a smart luchador. Have a mask that is really, 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 really hard to rip.
right?
I need other people
Oh
to do
yeah,
that.
he's trying again. Okada trying again to rip that mask off, gouge him in the eyes. Same time. Okada looking for the Rainmaker. Guerrero counters again. Roll up 1, 2. Okada kicks out.
Oh, damn.
Oh, he took the mask off. He did take the mask off. Now Guerrero gets it back on. Rainmaker. I'm assuming that's it. Okada falls on top of him. 1, 2, and 3.
Damn.
Ultimo Guerrero becomes another victim of Kazuchika Okada.
I mean, at least he had a good match. That was a really good match.
It was a very solid match. It was a very solid match. The more I see Okada, the more I appreciate him in the ring, for what he does. I still don't really like him, but is in ring. The more I see him, the more I can my opinion has changed on his in-ring work. He's better than I thought he was. The first few times I saw him, I wasn't overly impressed with his actual in-ring work in New Japan, the stuff that I had seen. The more I see him, the more he's really good.
And that, folks, is what a WWE fan sounds like when they try to have conversations about wrestling. When they start watching things outside of WWE.
Because I wasn't necessarily. I mean, I've always been a WWE fan, but it wasn't like I was never like the biggest like. There was a long time I didn't really watch it. All I watched was pay-per-views. I mean, for a long time, I didn't watch Raw or SmackDown ever for a long time. I watched NXT during the Black and Gold era just because that's when it was the best. But other than that, I mean, I didn't really watch weekly WWE shows. I'd watch the pay-per-views and I paid attention. I mean, I knew what was going on, but I have a love-hate relationship with wrestling. I absolutely love it, and at the same time, I can get burnt out on it really quick. So if I watch, I can't just watch it indefinitely. Like I have a friend he'll go from one show to the other. Like on WrestleMania weekend, he'll literally watch like every show that's available, one right after the other. I can't do that. Like 3 hours of wrestling, and that's probably it for me for the day. Tomorrow, let's talk about it again. But I'm not. I have a hard time doing, you know, watching wrestling all day long, or even when it comes down to it, a lot of days in a row. I like it, but I get burnt out.
You're talking to the person who went into labor and was watching wrestling. I was watching labor. I was watching Roman Reigns come out as I was pushing out my oldest child.
So we got top flight action and Johnny backstage with Lio Rush. As Anika mentioned before, they have this little ongoing feud here. I'm sorry, CM. I apologize. Wow, that was total. I apologize. Wow, I'm sorry. That was my bad. As CM pointed out earlier, they have been having this ongoing little feud here. I like Lio Rush a lot. I'm huge Lio Rush fan. He's so good. I understand why he's not on more of a mainstream track, and at the same time, I wish it was different.
Well, people have to understand that not all. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Not all black people are gonna kiss ass.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And as well, you shouldn't. I mean, in theory, nobody should. But yeah, I mean, so I mean, I get it. It just as a fan, I'd love to see him, you know, the a main event wrestler superstar for a major mainstream promotion. He's that good. I mean, I understand why he's not. More power to him for doing what he does and for doing him and for, getting the most out of himself. I mean, all the better. Just as a fan, I wish I saw him more. It's interesting, different people's views on different things. Um, I don't know if you're a Shannon Sharp fan at all, but he had obviously he has Club Shay Shay and he had Cat Williams on. Obviously, everyone knows that was viral. And Cat made a big deal about how he's not the kind of money doesn't matter. He's not the kind of guy to wear a dress. That's not something that he's willing to do, that kind of thing. He has boundaries and things he won't do. And then and I know he's not black, but he's in the community. He had Gary Owens on, who is a comedian also, and Gary Owens said, if the money's right, I'll do anything. I don't care what it is. So it's interesting, just a different thought process. And I understand Gary Owens isn't black, so it's a little bit different. I get it. And at the same time, it's interesting where people draw the line for themselves.
Gary Owens has that privilege of being able to do that.
No, I mean, I totally get that.
I mean, look at what they did to Dave Chappelle when Dave Chappelle said he didn't want to do certain things that would harm the black community. By the time he got back home, they had labeled him as insane, all that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of black folks was like, nah, something else is happening. Story comes out. Oh, that makes perfect sense why he didn't want to do it.
Right. No, I get it. Like I said, I don't knock anybody for not doing it, but I mean, so then maybe a better comparison would be like a Tyler Perry, who, I mean, I'm not as being not necessarily a member of the black community. I don't know necessarily how they receive Tyler Perry, but he sure doesn't seem to be hurting. So I don't know. And he's put on a dress and done a lot of weird stuff. So I mean,
that's because who Tyler Perry is geared towards.
And that may very well be true.
That's not very well true. That is the truth. He's geared towards grandmothers and the church. He plays on that. That's why his plays went so well. And then he moved into the movie space. He's actually a pretty talented director when he's not in the movie.
I don't even mind him as an actor. I mean, I think I'm not a big Medea fan, but when he's done other stuff where he's not playing Medea, I think his acting is fine. But yeah, I mean, I like him. I don't have a problem.
Not the target demo.
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
how can this dude cut such a damn good promo, yet he's so bland?
Right?
I will never understand.
I mean, again, the Iron Savages are another one of those teams for me. I don't dislike. I don't like them. I don't dislike them. They don't really move the needle for me. There's nothing about them that feels unique or standoutish. I mean, they're big guys. They're big tough guys, but there's nothing about them that just. I'm like, oh, I gotta see them. They're just. I don't know.
Do the words on Christian's intro like change, or is that just me?
I don't know. I never paid that much attention to it, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do. most of the time when I watch this, most of the time when I watch wrestling now, it's usually on streams and so my volume's down, so I don't
Wait, what?
very rarely catch it. Why is Christian going? Christian and Mother Wayne are going to the back.
No, they're gonna go to the
Commentary?
commentary.
Okay. Okay. So, well, Nick Wayne and Killshot represent the patriarchy against Boulder and Bronson. Jack Jameson. That's a dumb name.
Wait, so is it 3-on-2?
I don't think so. I thought, oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is 3-on-2. I thought it was just the two Boulder brothers, and then the other guy was going to be at ringside, but I guess not.
Yeah, I
It looks
did
like
too.
it is 3-on-2. It does appear to be that. Is Christian punishing Killshot and Nick Wayne for some reason? Or?
No, they told him they wanted to do it.
Oh, I mean, I missed that. I saw them all walk down the ring, but I didn't see what I couldn't hear the interaction.
So they walked down to the ring. The two, Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus, I can't do that.
Can't call him kill switch.
So they looked at Christian and they were like, "We got this," and then Christian walked away.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see if they got this or not. I'll be right back. I got to run to the bathroom real quick.
It is so crazy that a year ago, around this time, Nick Wayne versus Swerve Strickland was happening. And yeah, like Nick Wayne wasn't legally allowed to wrestle on camera, like on TV, because he was not 18. So crazy. Right, Luchasaurus is in the ring now, clearing house. Ooh, into a house fight. All right. Ooh, okay. So Luchasaurus is clear the ring of everyone except the one man. He's gonna toss Nick Wayne over to take out both Iron Savages. And we might get Killshot making the win there. I don't know. Since Christian didn't tag in, I guess technically he can't come in now to take the win, but I don't know. We'll see.
Sorry. Luchasaurus setting up for something on, I don't know if it's Bronson or Boulder, but trying to fight back. Chokeslam position. Big right hands. Do you think at some point he'll go back to Luchasaurus? Or you think he's just kill switched out forever? No.
When he leaves Christian, he'll go back.
That was kind of my assumption always too. Do you think we'll ever see Jurassic Express again? Or you think that's just done forever?
I mean, Jurassic Express technically included Marco's son.
Sure. So I guess let's say Luchasaurus and Jack Perry back together.
So a boy and his dinosaur, you might get that back. I don't know.
I mean, obviously, Jack Perry's long enough that if he stays in this business and doesn't get injured and has a long career, he'll be around for a long time. I don't know how old Luchasaurus is or whatever, whatever, but it seems like they both have time. And at some point, I've got to imagine it'll happen again. I mean,
Luchasaurus should be about 40.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Because he was in his 20s or 30s on Big Brother.
Oh, I didn't even know he was on Big Brother.
Yeah. He was on one of the last decent seasons. Yeah, he's 39. If you're a Big Brother fan, he was on the season with the twins that were switching, and he kind of realized it, but he ain't want to say nothing because it was kind of like, I like this girl, and if I tell her that I feel like she's switching up on me, might end badly. Yeah.
So it technically wasn't 3-on-2. It was technically 3-on-3, but they got the Iron Savages beat up, or Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus did the work, and then Christian Cage came in, hit the kill switch for the win, or the unprettier, and cleaned up the scraps. So, and got the win now. Taking all the credit. Classic Christian Cage.
Did you see Mercedes pop through last night?
No, I didn't. I did not.
Came through CMLL, was like, I'm going to win. I'm best. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I did see the thing on. I mean, I read the Wrestle Talk news articles, so, or at least I check them out to see them in PW Insider to see like what's going on. And so I did see that she was at CMLL. I did see that both her and Stephanie won their respective matches over the last couple days to retain their titles. So at Forbidden Door, it will indeed be title versus title, which is fun. I think it should be a really good match. Stephanie's very talented, and so is Mercedes. So it should be fun.
I honestly don't know who's going to win this. I love that.
Yeah, I don't either. It's very unpredictable.
I love that. I love not knowing so many of who's going to win what. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So on Dynamite, we had a contract signing between Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. And Mina told Mariah May, you have to choose. And before Mariah could choose, Sriracha's music hits. So we're still awaiting a decision between from Mariah. What do you think? Who should you choose? Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa?
She's not going to choose yet. They're going to draw that out for a little bit longer until she's ready to turn on one of them.
You think she'll make it? You think that'll be a Forbidden Door?
I don't think it'll be a Forbidden Door. If it is, it'll be surprising. But I used to think she was going to turn on Toni. Now I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know now.
I like it. I think it makes it interesting. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Adds a little bit of spice to the this Toni Storm story. Lady Frost and Layla Hirsch. It's good to see Layla back. I feel like she came back a couple months ago and then was gone again for a minute. I don't know if she got hurt a second time or if she just...
RH. She was on ROH fighting for the belt that Billy Starks ended up winning.
Right, yeah. Like a couple months ago. And then it felt like I didn't see her on Ring of Honor for the last couple of weeks, and now she's here again. Or now she's back here on AEW. So
she's been Ring of Honor, some indie stuff, trying to get her reps back in.
I'm happy to see her back. I'm a big Layla Hirsch fan.
I want her, Shayna Baszler, and Masha Slamovich to be a super faction.
Yeah, that'd be insane. That would be crazy. I'm here for that. At this point, and I get why people don't. And again, I have no idea what's going on in her life in any way, shape, or form. Maybe she's as happy as she's ever been. From a fan's perspective, personally, I'd love to see Shayna get away from WWE for a little while, but I'd love to see her either in TNA or AEW just to see something different because I think she could. I think WWE holds her back a lot.
They
And
do.
so I'd love to see her actually show what she can really do and be allowed to just do what she can do and be the main event star that I think she actually is. Um, but I guess we'll see. I mean, who knows? She's not young either, so that's
I
part of it, I'm
believe
sure.
she does not fit in the words of what they told the Briscoes, she's not necessarily aesthetically pleasing.
Which is why it's interesting to me that she, I guess to a certain extent, has had the success that she's been able to get the success she has at WWE, and that she's chosen to stay so long without getting better booking. I mean, there's got to be something that's clicking for her that she's happy. Otherwise, why would she stay? So, I mean, and it's simply be the money, and if that's fine, then that's it, and that's great. I mean, more power to you. Do what you do. You make the decisions you have to make for yourself. But clearly, something's keeping her there. I don't know. And like you said, being not in the eyes of WWE aesthetically pleasing visually, or aesthetically pleasing, that's saying enough. I don't need to say visually, that's redundant. But I'm surprised that she's had the staying power that she's actually had. And that's a testament to how good she is. So
She was also in NXT for a long time.
she was.
And
She was.
Vince wasn't paying attention to NXT.
We know
And
that too, yeah.
It became, we don't want her to potentially go somewhere else and achieve. Like Steph DeLander, who was Persia Parada or whatever, how she's been able to go outside of WWE and thrive.
Right. We're picture in picture as this Tony Storm match continues on, this tag team match. Where's my mouse? My mouse keeps disappearing off my screen. I keep trying to move it around, and all of a sudden it's not there.
Your mouse said, "Run, Rudolph!"
Right? Head for the mountains of Bush beer. I like Lady Frost too. I don't. I mean, I don't. She's never. I don't think she's ever going to get pushed, in any big way. And I know that she's already a little on the older side when she came to AEW and those kind of things. But I like her. I think she's a solid wrestler.
I enjoy Lady Frost. I wish she got pushed more. I wish she got utilized more. She has a really great look. She's really talented in the ring. But yeah.
Yep, it's another one of those. I don't know. I'm not sure where the disconnect is, but for whatever reason, she doesn't get booked and pushed like that. So I don't know if it's an age thing, if it's a look thing, if it's a who knows, whatever it is, anything that's going on. But for whatever reason, but I do like her, and her matches are always good. She always has good matches. Solid wrestler. And I like the idea of her and Layla together. I mean, I don't think I've seen this before. I think this might be the first time that I can think of seeing these two in a tag team together. But the idea of them together, I like. They seem to be doing well in this match, so I wouldn't mind seeing them as a tag team again. Not that AEW really has a tag team or a women's tag team division per se. They barely have a singles division at the moment, but
I mean, they have like
they got a
they
lot of
have
wrestlers.
it.
They're just
It's
they're just
booking
badly
people.
booked. And it is. You're right. That's not fair. They do have a fair amount of women and a lot of good women. There are some. I mean, we do have some injuries out at the moment, but it's really just about bad booking.
Yeah, Tony Khan needs bookers,
He definitely does.
but
He definitely does. And good bookers, not just anybody. I mean, he needs to try to find good bookers that know what the fuck they're doing, not just anybody. Not just his buddy from high school that likes wrestling too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, you have Bryan Danielson right there.
yeah, yep. No, I mean, and in theory, you've got a lot of talent behind the scenes that I'm sure. I mean, there's all kinds of guys that I'm sure are capable of booking a really solid show. I mean, I think that a lot of wrestlers by default, because of being wrestlers, they've, booked a lot of their own matches and they've, developed their own storylines and pitched their own ideas. And as a result, it seems pretty second nature to them to do that for other wrestlers too. And not everyone can do it. Not everyone has the ability or the skill, but those that do, I think, benefit from being being wrestlers if they have been in the past. So I mean, gives them an advantage for sure. You got Christopher Daniels back there, who's great. You got Bryan Danielson, who's supposedly really good. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of others. I mean, oh, Layla Hirsch and Lady Francis, a nice tag team work here, looking like a well-seasoned tag team. Tony coming over to save Mariah May. Lady Frost was up on the second rope for a corkscrew moonsault. Tony Storm rolled on top of Mariah May to protect her. And then Tony Storm broke up the 3 count.
Ooh. All right. That was cool.
I think you're a little ahead of me. I'm not sure.
That's why I'm not saying exactly what was cool.
Right. Tony and Mariah hit stereo German suplexes and then stereo hip attacks. Tony Storm with the Storm Zero. And 2, 3 on Layla Hirsch. Layla Hirsch takes the loss, the pin, after Storm Zero. Tony Storm and Mariah May are your winners. In which really ultimately, even though I love Layla Hirsch and I'm, a big fan of Lady Frost, this was ultimately more a Tony Storm Mariah May showcase. I mean, they got some offense in, but it wasn't a very long match, and it definitely was, a Tony Storm showcase. So Tony Storm standing tall in the black and white in the middle of the ring. Who will Mariah May choose? Mina Shirakawa or Tony Storm? And will we find
Words
out
of Nigel McGuinness, Tony's tits are Mina's melons. Yeah, when he said that was like, wait, what?
Oh, that's hysterical. I did not hear that. I missed that. That is fucking hysterical.
That was last week.
Yeah, no, I just in general I missed it. Yeah, and that's hysterical.
He was like, who will she choose? Tony's tits or Mina's melons? And I was like, huh? And Tony Schiavone was like, what?
What? What did you say?
Can we say that? No, on TNT you can. Oh, Jesus.
Serena Deeb.
I need her to get back on her grinds. I need her to start winning again.
I agree. Agreed. I dare anyone to step into Deeb's dojo. Simply in ring work wise, not expression wise, not but the physical act of the wrestling, the moves, she's probably one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet as far as the actual in-ring movement, just the physical wrestling part. She needs a little work on the personality, the expression, some of that stuff, selling the storyline, all those kind of things. But the in-ring work itself, the physical movement and the actual wrestling, she's extremely good.
I love Serenity. I don't think she needs to do anything.
That's Black come to the ring, Malachi Black and Brody King. LSG and MSG, is that really? Are they just... when I first saw it, I thought it was two different tag teams, but then there wasn't a verse in between LSG and MGS. So I guess they're just initials for their opponents.
I was thinking about the Outlanders, but I don't think it is.
I haven't seen them yet. I still have House of Black in their ring entrance.
Oh, they haven't come on yet. That's like okay. I'm trying to see them.
Hassan must be gone for a minute because he's back.
Yeah, they're local wrestlers.
Yes, so this will be
this looks like a weird
match, unfortunately. Right?
It looks like a weird mix between James Ellsworth, Shannon Moore, and the Young Bucks.
That's so funny.
Like, look at their faces.
They're making their AEW debut tonight. I don't think it's going to go well for them.
I mean, Malachi might let them get a little bit of offense. He might be a little nice tonight. He's not going to go full Roosh on them. So.
Yeah. Did you enjoy Roosh and MJF on Monday night or on Wednesday night?
That was a really good match.
I agree. I'm glad that they're pushing Roosh. I mean, I like him a lot. A really good match, and I like that they did it commercial free. I thought that was good. I do think that even with the picture-in-picture, I do think that it does take away from the match when you go to picture-in-picture or to commercial break and have to come back. I mean, I understand you have to do it. It's TV and it is what it is. I mean, I get it. It does take away from the match for me. So anytime I can get, especially a good match like that, commercial free, I'm excited. So I was happy about that. It'd be interesting to know what that does for their bottom line. I mean, advertisers probably aren't happy about that, but
they make up for advertising further along.
There you go, and it is over. That was definitely a squash match.
Yeah.
2-3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but anything that's presented as commercial free, you're gonna get either more commercials later on or longer.
Right. Sure. They're going to make it up somehow. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that you're never going to, not never, let me rephrase that. The reality is that House of Black isn't losing to local talent. Do you think it still, how big a deal you think it is for the local talent to come out and take a squash match like that on a show like this? You think that's a really big deal for them? You think they're hyped about it and super excited for it, or you think they're kind of disappointed that it's a squash? You think people are just local talent lined up to take that loss to be in that spot, or you think it's what do you think?
I think it gets them on national TV, well, international
Yeah,
TV.
sure.
It gets them reps, it gets their names out, and it makes their pay rate go up. That's why that's why being on Dark and Dark Elevation was so important for a lot of wrestlers because you're on AEW now, your rate can go up.
Yeah,
The more that you're out there, the better.
sure. That makes sense. I just wonder when it is like when you come in and take such a squash. I mean, I it's not like you're really getting a whole lot of action or practical, you know, training from a squash match like that. So that's, I mean, but again, like you said, you're getting seen. It's your chance on a big stage on a mainstream show on television. I mean, I'm sure they're just happy to be in the spot. So
And if you can impress them, like you get more time to potentially come back to AEW, to come to a or ROH. Like folks don't realize people like Willow. Willow wasn't signed. Willow was in the crowd. Willow was hyped up. Willow did her grind to get into AEW and then went up. So like it works. Doesn't work for everybody. Queen Aminata.
Or-
Rashay Chanel, like when she was there for the time she was there, like it helped develop her character a little bit more, and you got to know more about her. And now she's doing her own thing, and is people love her because her gimmick is hilarious, and she can wrestle.
agreed. We're at full commercial. We're about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through the show.
Speaking of demographics, have you seen
Yeah,
the Kendrick and Friends pop out
I
concert?
have not. I have not.
You should.
I have not. I will check that out. I know that Kendrick's getting a lot of love for his Drake diss song when he does them live at shows.
Look, this is the first time he's performed any of the disses live.
Oh, is it? Okay. So that's the clip that I saw. I guess I haven't watched all of it, but I did see a clip of him performing that in the crowd going crazy.
Yeah.
The whole crowd going, whop, whop, whop.
Yeah, not like us. He performed it 5 times with the crowd. One time as the crowd was, but they played the music as they were leaving. And Amazon still had the crowd mic, and the crowd was still doing it as they were leaving.
Uh, I mean, I don't think it's much of a beef. I think Kendrick pretty much slaughtered Drake. I mean, but
I maintain, I really do maintain that Aubrey should have listened to Pusha T. When Pusha T was like, "Your crew don't like you. They really don't like you.
right.
Probably shut the hell up."
I'm not a Drake fan anyhow, so Hachachero coming to the ring.
With the gates of agony.
The
I like
gates of
this
agony.
together way more than I like. Way more than I like Cage of Agony. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That Magic's finna get murked.
MJF will be on Collision in 2 weeks when they're in Memphis. on July 8th, I think he says. Is that right? Let me look at my calendar here. I think I heard that right. Or it's on the rabbit, right?
It's not gonna be the 8th.
Yeah. It'll be the 7th. July
That's a
7th.
Sunday.
Hold on.
Yeah.
When's my calendar?
Plus,
Oh, yeah, the 6th. July 6th. Saturday, July 6th.
yeah, the 7th. I'm very familiar with the 7th. I'm counting down the days to the 7th.
So we got Daddy Magic versus Hechicero. Daddy Magic with some stiff clotheslines to Hechicero. Hechicero dumped him on his head. Yeah. Hassan's voting for Hechicero.
Yeah. That's a pretty safe bet there.
I assume so as well. The only real question is, will Daddy Magic's nipples get hard?
I don't think his nipples need to get hard.
You don't want to see that man's hard nipples?
I don't want to see him get hurt. No.
He's already got that tape around his midsection, so he's all bandaged up in the rib area. Oh. Hechicero taking advantage of a beat down Daddy Magic. Hechicero is in charge, setting him up for the arm breaker, and there it is. Snap that right arm back.
This is lasting longer than I thought it would be. Oh!
Right. Hechicero into the corner. Daddy Magic moves.
Oh! Okay, we get
Daddy Magic.
All right.
Daddy Magic with some right hands. Oh, nice. Big clothesline in the corner from Daddy Magic. Daddy Magic up on the second row with some right hands to the head. Yeah, Daddy Magic getting some offense here. I'm glad that they're not just, squashing it or squashing him. Tighter 1-2. Hechicero kicks out. He's one of those guys that has so much personality and charisma, but his in-ring work is a little lacking. He's he's good. It's just not, excellent. The physical interactions, physical work.
I mean, he has good physical work. It's just with the right pairing.
Yeah. I can see that. That was kind of a weird looking move. It looked like that was almost like a botch. It looked like Hechicero tried to go for the head scissors.
Ooh.
A little bit of a botch.
Ooh, just oh shit.
Rolling Daddy Magic over. Whoa. Yeah. Some nasty little submission moves. Daddy Magic has to tap out.
Shit.
There were a couple spots in that match that looked almost like they could have been.
The way he stepped over, it looked like a botch, but then he hooked his leg underneath one arm, rolled over Daddy Magic, and had him basically hemmed up. So he got lucky to have one arm out so he could tap.
Yeah, it did look like there were almost a couple spots during the match where it almost looked like a couple botches, but they just moved on and made it look okay and, just pressed on. So that first one where he tried to do the back body drop and dropped him on his head looked a little botchish. And then, Jeff Jarrett talking about Owen Hart. An emotional Jeff Jarrett.
I forgot it was the 25th anniversary.
Me too.
God,
I can't believe it's been.
um,
I can't believe it's been that long.
might need to turn it down a little bit.
All right.
Damn it! Now I want him to win.
I don't know. Now that the winner gets a title shot, I definitely don't want Jeff Jarrett to win. I mean, I never would have wanted him to win, but
I don't want him to win and get the title shot, but I want him to win for Owen and.
I don't know the guy at all. Maybe he's a wonderful human being behind closed doors. I have my doubts. So I don't know. I wonder, like, I don't know anything about Owen Hart, but the fact that he was such good friends with someone like Jeff Jarrett, it's like, I don't know. Like, okay, I don't know. Like I said, maybe Jeff Jarrett's a wonderful person behind the scenes and, whatever. But everything they've said about Owen Hart is that he was a great person. And for him to be like so close with someone who I think of as not the greatest person in the world seems like but
I'm gonna just put it like this. Jeff Jarrett is the one who pushed for R-Truth, Ron Killings to be the first Black NWA champion. He pushed very heavy for that. He pushed very heavy for him to have really great booking, and to have everything be really solid. When I think back to the Intercontinental thing, could it have been done better? Yes. Was he a smart businessman to be like, I'm gonna hold this belt hostage until I get the money I want? And then he had already been fired by Vince before. So get money, get ready to start your own company. Without Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett, we wouldn't have TNA. So
I get it. No, I also know that I suffered through the years of him booking himself as champion in TNA too for a long time, and I mean, a lot of bad,
still better than Hogan and Bischoff. It was still better than Vince Russo.
Yeah,
it was still
maybe
better than a lot of the bench years. People shit on Jeff Jarrett, and rightfully so in some cases. But JEWF JARRECC, ain't he grand?
we are at commercial. I'm assuming when we come back, we're getting ready for our main event match of Will Ospreay versus, I'm drawing a name on his opponent, but his opponent at the moment.
Ospreay versus Cage.
Oh, that's right, Brian Cage. Thank you.
It's not up yet, but we're getting prepared because it's going to start very quickly.
And I often, if I don't put them up when I'm thinking about it, I will forget. So I'm glad you're on top of it.
I mean, if Dolores took the time to put it up there, we don't use it. That's time and energy, man. It's time and energy, especially in the heat on the East Coast. It's hot.
Reggie Miller.
JJ come on out. You are more than welcome to.
All right, we are back for our main event of Collision.
I have seen people say that they feel like Will Ospreay is Not people. Let me break that. I've seen WWE stands say that they felt like Will Ospreay was really good until he went to AEW and then he started sucking. And it's like Will Ospreay is still wrestling like Will Ospreay. He's actually wrestling better. What you guys don't like is the fact that he turned down WWE because he didn't want to do harm to his family, and he chose his family.
Yeah, I mean,
WWE.
I don't think he's wrestling any different than he ever has. I mean, this seems to be the same Will Ospreay we've gotten for a long time now.
I think he's wrestling better.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
he's
that's hard
now.
Right.
And the schedule isn't quite as grueling, and he's getting the time to rest. I don't think he's beating Swerve. I don't think it's time to beat Swerve yet. And I don't think if they're really building towards an MJF feud, if Tony is smart, he's not putting the belt back on MJF just yet. And Ospreay isn't ready for that belt yet. It's going to be a banger ass match. But I can actually see someone coming out and hitting Swerve, costing Ospreay the belt. Because I don't think that's been done in AEW yet. I think that's like the one of the few endings that hasn't happened yet.
If Swerve is going to beat what seems to be undeniably, in everyone's opinion, currently the best wrestler on the planet, despite not being a champion at the moment in that way or at that level, then they've got to do something. A Swerve can't just beat him clean. I mean, I don't see that happening. So, the only way that Swerve wins is if someone comes down and costs Ospreay the match.
Could be. Or it could be a clean loss. I don't know where they're going to go with it.
I mean, obviously, the best don't always win, in sports, that's why they play the games, because people lose. But on paper, I mean, if one person is considered the best on the planet, he should be beating most people he comes in contact with. That's why he's the best on the planet. So, it's hard to be the best in the world and lose a lot. So,
but Ospreay hasn't been losing a lot.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, it's hard to call him the best on the planet and then have him take a loss to Swerve. Now, to be fair, it would be, I think, his first loss probably in AEW. If you have to look at it, because I can't think of another match that he's lost yet. So it's not like, I don't think he would suffer from it. It's a weird dynamic to have the current best wrestler on the planet lose a match. So, I mean, it happens. Again, that's why sports are sports, and that's why they play the games and do the things. And I understand this isn't, this is already pre-scripted, but still, I mean, in theory, that's why they still have the matches. But it's a weird dynamic when your world champion, basically your highest tiered athlete that's holding your biggest title, isn't considered the best in the world, and the best in the world is in your promotion. It's a weird dynamic.
Since he's been in AEW, he has lost one match, and it was a tag match.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd lost any singles matches. So
yeah.
And that's why, I mean, I don't think a loss to Swerve damages him at all. It's just a weird dynamic to have the best in the world take a loss. I mean,
he's taking an L to the top champ in the company.
Right. No, and in that regard, I mean, it works to a certain extent. It just, like I said, it just is an odd dynamic to me. But no, I mean, I think Swerve should probably win. I think it's difficult to keep Ospreay from winning just because of his reputation and how he's booked and so over. But I do think that the right storyline here is for Swerve to hold that belt longer. I don't think that we need Will with 2 belts, and I don't think there's more meat on the bone for him getting to the title than to hold the title this fast, the world title this quickly. So, and I like Swerve with the title, so I think Swerve should win. I just think it's tough to. I don't know when you're booking this match and you're backstage, it's really hard to book Will to take a loss. I mean, it just.
To me, it makes sense for Ospreay to lose now. I just don't know. I don't know how they're gonna book it. I don't know. I don't think, as much as I don't like Swerve, I don't think the move is to have Ospreay beat Swerve. Or if he does beat Swerve, I don't think it should be clean. I also don't think we're ready for Ospreay heel turn.
Yeah.
As for tonight, Hassan, I agree with you. I definitely think it's gonna be Ospreay that beats Cage. He's not gonna lose to Brian Cage.
No,
It's Brian Cage.
so yeah. I think he's already beat better guys so far since he's been in AEW, and he's going into Forbidden Door next week in a huge match with the AEW champion. He's not losing to Brian Cage here tonight. And it's Will Ospreay. I mean, Will Ospreay doesn't lose, and Brian Cage. Brian Cage. I like Brian Cage, but there's a discrepancy between the two.
Brian Cage could be booked way better.
Oh yeah.
But Brian Cage's biggest issue is his lack of personality.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've heard on the internet, and again, take it with a grain of salt because the internet is what it is. But I hear rumblings that perhaps Brian Cage's biggest problem is Brian Cage at times. I mean, I understand he can have a bit of an attitude and be. The rumor is, and maybe a little difficult to work with. That's just what I've seen on the internet. Again, take it with a grain of salt.
He and his wife speaks up a lot for him.
Right.
His wife, let me put it like this. His wife pulls a Matt Hardy for Jeff Hardy. Folks, if you can't tell, I am not a Matt Hardy fan. I think Matt Hardy is one of the worst people in the world.
And again, if the idea that he's difficult to work with or that he's his own worst enemy is because he stands up for himself or won't take shit booking or doesn't want to do dumb creative stuff, more power to him. I mean, if that's, then more power to him. It just, I don't know all that. That's rough. That's what I'd heard floating around on the internet. So
I think it's because he thinks he should be in a better position than what he is, which is true, but it's like your personality is what holds you back.
Yeah.
If he had like an interesting personality, he'd be really good. He's like a more swole Karrion Kross. He just
I can see that. But I think his in-ring work is a lot better than Karrion Kross, the actual wrestling movement stuff, because I think he's extremely talented athletically. He's a hell of an athlete. But I get what you're saying, though. I can see that analogy, that comparison. Yeah, I mean, Brian Cage is another example. He's one of those guys that you put him, in a group of 20 or 30 wrestlers, and he doesn't really stand out. I mean, there's just nothing about him that's unique enough to really stand out, even with the look that is fairly unique. I mean, being as big as he is, as swollen as he is, for as short as he is, with the haircut that he has and the look he has, like it's kind of a unique look. But then he doesn't. There's nothing else out about him that really stands out. So he doesn't separate himself from the crowd.
Yeah.
Big German suplex from Brian Cage. Cage is in control at the moment, getting a lot of good offense in against Will Ospreay. This has been a very solid match.
For anybody.
I mean, for all the complaining about booking and not getting the right spot, I mean, he's got a main event match on Collision against Will Ospreay, who's the Continental, title holder, and like we've talked about, the probably the best wrestler on the planet at the moment. So I mean, it's a good spot for Brian Cage to be put in. I mean, it's definitely giving him, and he's getting some good offense. So
again, well, Oscar could put on a really good match for the most anybody.
no doubt, 100%. He is one of those guys that elevates everybody he's in the ring with for sure. Oh, hidden blade to the back of the head off the top row from Ospreay. Or, I mean, it was hidden blade-ish. Maybe they're calling that an elbow. Now he's taking the pad off and going for the actual hidden blade.
Will he be able to hit us? Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Brian Cage counters. He did not hit it. He countered.
Ooh!
Ospreay. Oh, I love that little kick Ospreay does. Little almost side super kick. Oh, Ospreay out the middle rope. Brian Cage with the drop kick, catching Ospreay in mid-air. Brian Cage setting him up, rolling. Will Ospreay counters into this powerbomb. Big powerbomb from Will Ospreay. Both men are down at the moment. Both men look tired, showing the effects of a tough, hard-fought match. It's amazing, when you watch a lot of guys, you can see holes in people's and why ultimately why they're not clicking, they're not better, their careers have been whatever. With Ospreay, there's just no holes. I mean, I don't see anything that he does that looks like needs work or anything. I mean, everything is just so tight. It's amazing, and he's so young.
Well, he took the holes that he had and he worked to fix them.
Yes. Oh, I know he used to have holes, but yeah, he's definitely plugged all. I mean, it feels like he's plugged all those holes.
That's why him going to New Japan and staying there for so long was really, really smart. It was a really great investment in himself.
Brian Cage was almost kind of like an F5. Maybe it was more like a flat line. I don't know. And then float over for the pin. Will Ospreay kicked out at 2.5. Brian Cage is in control at the moment. So obviously, we saw Hechicero come out earlier with Gates of Agony. Is Brian Cage technically no longer with them anymore? Have they totally separated, or is that just it just happened to be for tonight?
I ate the.
I thought he was still with them. I just didn't. He just wasn't with them tonight. But maybe not. Maybe they split up.
I believe they're still together. They just don't. When they're with Hechicero, they're not with him. And when they're with Hechicero, which makes me wonder: is Brian Cage under the Hechicero outfit? Mm-hmm.
Oh,
are we ever going to see them together at the same time?
Interesting. Will they ever be in the same place at the same time?
It's like you never see Jeff Cobb and the Monster Matanza at the same place at the same time. Just throwing that out there.
Say it. Just say it. Picture in picture as we come into the home stretch here on the main event. This episode of Collision. As you can see on the screen, it's Ospreay versus Brian Cage, as Ospreay is defending his international championship. And what's been a really good match so far. We've given Brian Cage a lot of offense. Ospreay doesn't have bad matches at this point, so
don't jinx it.
When you think, obviously we don't know until we see it. On paper, Do you think him and Swerve will be the best match at Forbidden Door?
You have the
No.
dragons facing each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of matches on this Forbidden Door show that I'm excited for.
I love the
I feel
fact
like
I don't know for so many matches.
yeah, I feel like they've done a really good job at booking this one. This one seems like it's been booked better than the last two. And the last two have been fun. And I mean, I like the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. I think they've all been good. But this one seems like it's booked even better.
I mean, it's potentially Bryan Danielson's last one.
Yeah. Yep.
Bryan Danielson? Yeah, Bryan Danielson.
Ospreay was another big kick.
What?
Oh, more kicks. Oh, a huge clothesline for Brian Cage. Brian Cage setting Ospreay up, power bomb, and then the spinning sit down power bomb 1, 2, and Ospreay kicks out. Yeah, Brian Cage is having a very good showing tonight. A very respectable showing.
I love it.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Brian Cage has it up. Ospreay counters into. He's trying to hit him with the Hurricane Rana. Brian Cage didn't go for it. Oh, well, Ospreay transitions into a big DDT. Following up. Cage counters. Went for the Oz cutter. Brian Cage countered with the German suplex. Oh, he didn't play it out of nowhere.
Okay.
After he no-sold the German suplex from Brian Cage, floats over 1, 2, Cage rolls out. Hey.
I did not see that coming. I thought that was a 3.
Yeah, I thought that was 3 too. I thought it was over. Well, setting him up for the Stormbreaker. Brian Cage counters, pushes Will into the corner, follows him in. Will puts his foot up for a big boot. Will on the second rope. Oh, Insecurity from Brian Cage. Both men up on the second rope. Will drops down. He's got Cage's head tucked between on the other side of the turnbuckle, and then kicked him in the face.
Here. Oh, that didn't. Oh.
We got a Hurricane Rana coming, top rope Hurricane Rana. Oh, it didn't happen. Cage stayed on the top rope, stayed on the rope.
Oh.
What Cage has? What's he gonna do here with Ospreay? Whoa! What the hell was that? That was like a power slam off the. Whoa, that was a weird.
That was like a spinning power slam.
Yeah, off the second rope. That was crazy. I've never seen that before. For a 2 count. That's a nice move.
So good in the ring.
He is.
Personality.
He's so athletic. Oh, turning Ospreay inside out with a clothesline in the corner. Ospreay is now on the top turnbuckle. Brian Cage up on the second rope, has Ospreay on his shoulders. Brian Cage going for something. Ospreay counters with a huge Hurricane Rana.
Oh, no.
Oz cutter time. Oh, no. Oz cutter. Nope. Cage counters again into a huge forearm. Discus forearm, a Rainmaker type forearm. Tried to get him up for the Brainbuster, but he countered into a stunner. Ospreay with the stunner. No. And then the Snapdragon. Suplex Oz cutter. 1, 2. Brian Cage kicks out at 2.5.
I see
Will
that.
setting up for the hidden
Whoa!
blade, taking the elbow pad off, throwing it to the crowd. Is in the corner, setting up for the hidden blade. Brian Cage getting up. Right to the back of the head. That's got to be it. 1, 2, 3. With a very nice win for Will Ospreay.
That was a banger of a match.
Jeez Louise, I can't stop coughing. Jeez. Let's see. Will gets his title in the middle of the ring. See if anything else happens before we go off air. Very solid Dynamite. Lots of good wrestling tonight. Solid main event match. Will Ospreay making Brian Cage look really good.
Bless you.
Thank you. Ospreay all alone in the ring. I half expect to see Swerve or something, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for too. That's why I don't want to take us out. Oh,
Ospreay flexing with the title. Something.
Did you just see that?
I didn't. What did I miss?
You're getting Swerve and Ospreay versus Gates of Agony on Wednesday.
Oh yes, I do. Yes, I see that graphic now. Yes, I do see that graphic. It looks like we are going off the air. It looks like Ospreay was yelling at somebody, but I don't know who it was. It looks like we are officially off the air for Collision tonight.
Thank you all for joining us for Collision. It was great to see you all. Thank you for staying with us, Hassan, Dolores, all the people who watched us in the bushes and did not chat. Don't be ashamed to chat us. Don't feel free to tweet us, all that good stuff. We won't. Well, let me phrase that. ALW won't bite your head off. It depends on the day for me. We are live most days. If we're not live, we have pre-records. So please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, follow us on all social media so that you can stay up to date with us because our schedules are ever evolving. It's summertime. We have lives, as do you. So come join us when you can. Thank you for being here for Collision. We look forward to seeing you at least live again on Tuesday for the cookout. ALW, anything you want to say?
No, that's it. You covered it all.
All right.
You got it all.
Peace.
Peace.